It's 6:42 and 42 seconds right here on the nice, and it's time for us to get into our commentary, our first commentary, well, my first commentary for the year 2021. Today, I will look at 2021, what's in store. A look forward, not backward. 2021, what's in store. No, I am no soothsayer. I am not a Miss Cleo, and I don't read tea leaves or tell horoscopes. But let us try to look into the future to see what it might hold. And some of the things that's be kind of obvious if you try to peep into the future without blinkers on. I mean, like the type of shades that could blur your vision, like how some people could only see one side of the spectrum. So in SVG, things either red or they yellow. In the USA, you're either for Trump or you're not a patriot. And if you, in the UK, you either want to have your cake, like traveling without hindrance to all the warm places in Europe, and at the same time, you want to have Brexit. So when I look into the future, I ain't seeing from your eyes. I see it from mine. And I think I've been around long enough to have been in tune well enough to shut out some of the naysayers and the he don't like weers when I'm making my predictions. First off, people really don't believe when you tell them that certain people are so predictable in their actions that you could read them to a T. And some of these same people, so stubborn, they're rather dead than clutch at the straw to see if that might save them while they're drowning. Don't believe me? Then there are a good few who would testify to my predictions that the Ministry of Education would have issued a release, and I said this right after All Year's Night, postponing the reopening of schools for at least 1 week in the first instance. And when we discover that the issues related to COVID-19 are far worse than we expected, far greater reaching, classes for the term, the second term, January to March, will be online, believe you me. So what does 2021 really have in store? Firstly, let's start with the nagging COVID-21. Not COVID-19 no more. It's COVID-21 now. 19 gone. With the rapid decline in locally generated revenue, the wanton misuse of grant funds and other soft loans that came and that would come our way to assist in the economic fallout from the COVID pandemic, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will see an extremely tough year. Not only will those who depend heavily on remittances from family, mostly by way of MoneyGram and Western Union, begin to feel the squeeze as their families and benefactors also feel the crunch in the USA and the UK, wherever they send money from, Canada. But the fall off in these funds will show how precarious our local economy really is. Don't believe me? Go and search for the poverty report that came out last year. There will be no work programs to clear drains or cut grass until maybe August. So for even those who have little or nothing, they will be in a very precarious state. And this is just but the tip of the proverbial iceberg. For as COVID takes its foothold in the next month or so, and we see our first attributed death, as Grenada has now seen, everything will screech to a halt. We will no longer be able to go along our merrily way of entertaining visitors from wherever, and no, the rollout of COVID vaccine will not be that soon in our parts. La Soufre will keep us on our P's and Q's for the next 4 to 5 months. The uncertainty will also have a tremendous impact, especially on our agricultural farming community. The decisions on whether to invest, that is, to plant new crops that might not survive if an eruption, will be foremost in the minds of some farmers. Combine these two scenarios, and you have the recipe for a halted economy. With no income, no work, no remittance coming in, with COVID restricting the letting off of steam, and with no carnival for a second year in a row, many will be on edge. The work for our police officers will be significantly increased. The possibility of a high-handed approach to solving the discord that will emanate from these things that are going to happen, and these stresses being exhibited by our populace, will be evident as those charged with such a duty will find it extremely difficult because of two main factors. That is, those charged with the duty of keeping the peace. These issues will be politicized, and since those responsible for keeping the peace will yield to the pressure of their political bias and political masters, the discord will be amplified rather than restrained. Those charged with governance will feel threatened and overreact, worsening the situation. Other issues will come to the fore in SVG as well as making the climate very unstable for both locals and foreigners to do business. On the international scene, even with the emergence of several vaccines, COVID will continue to wreak havoc. Anti-vaxxers and those who will choose the reckless path in the name of personal freedoms will make it near impossible to control COVID at the level needed to suppress the virus in 2021. Several countries will have to institute measures akin to martial law to achieve any semblance of a control. This will, however, create its own problems, as the logistics required to continue operational systems of government will not be easily achievable. Groups with other agendas will seek to use these seeming loopholes to their advantage, creating further chaos. For those who thought 2020 was an annus horribilis or un an horrible, 2021 will present some far more difficult challenges. Poverty will manifest itself in ways never seen before, as those countries which traditionally were the release sources for lesser developed countries will find themselves in situations which will make it either near impossible to help or be more concerned with their own problems. 2021 will certainly be a year for banding our bellies, for wailing and grinding of our teeth, but don't lose faith. Prayer and an openness to doing the Master's bidding may be our only opportunity to survive. And that's it for my commentary for 2021 and what I see coming.